a specific meaning and purpose in your life helps to encourage you towards living a fulfilling and inspired life. Good morning, dear children. So with this, we'll read today. We'll start a new lesson. That is your chapter 5, importance of self-management. Okay. So the word self-management itself express the meaning. Okay. So self-management means how can we manage ourselves. Okay. Self-management is managing yourself to achieve the predetermined tasks or goals that you have set for yourself by regulating your actions, organizing your time, and being accountable for your decisions. Appropriate self-management can help students perform better in school, can reduce delinquent behaviors, and can help individuals perform better on the job. Okay. So what is self-management? So you will plan. Okay. So after the plan, we'll organize. Then we'll direct how to do that work. Then we'll control. So this is the what is self-management cycle. Okay. Who manages things in your house? Okay. Very interesting example given to you. Your mother. She takes care of everything, right from cooking, washing clothes, your studies, buying stuff for everyone, and the house. Have you ever wondered how she manages to do so many tasks? She does this by setting a goal, the family well-being. Okay, so this is the goal. Okay, for that, she identifies the tasks to be completed to achieve the goal. She plans and delegates the responsibilities and ensure to finish the task in time. One day you just watch your mother how she is performing each and every action at home and how she is completing every work. She recognizes the resources she has such as time, money, help, etc. to complete those tasks and allocates the resources according to the family's priorities. Now, since nobody is directing her to do all of this, she is setting and achieving goals all by herself. She is self-managing. Okay, self-management is a great skill to be developed for life and work. Let us learn how to develop self-management skills. Self-management skills. Self-management comprises three key skills: initiative, organization, and accountability. What is initiative? Initiative means suppose you have set a goal. You have to start it first. Okay. How will start? That is your responsibility. Okay. And if any obstacle also will come in your way, that also you have to overcome to start the work to reach at the goal. Initiative means doing the right thing without being told what to do. Initiative requires one to believe in one's own capabilities and be resilient to work even when faced with obstruction and disappointment. For example, as a student, you can identify areas of improvement in your school environment such as apathy and disrespect for teachers, bullying, discipline, cleanliness, etc. But I will give you an example. Suppose you have set a goal. You want to become an engineer, you want to become a doctor, or any other profession you have chosen that I will become this. So you have to work for that. You have to start work for that. Okay. Suppose you have set up your mind that I will complete this chapter today. So you have to start read it means from the morning. Okay. So it is you have to initiate. Okay. Whatever obstacle will come also you have to overcome and you have to do. So organization skills. Organization skill is the ability to use your time, energy and resources effectively to achieve the goals you have set for yourself. Being organized saves your time and energy, helps you to complete tasks efficiently and therefore makes you more productive. To develop organizational skills, you need to follow the below mentioned steps. Okay. So what are the steps we'll learn? Organization skill is the ability to use your time, energy and resources. Whatever time you have, whatever energy you have and resources. Okay. So suppose during this pandemic time, you all have been given a mobile phone. So to attend the online classes, to complete your task, if you will use this resource usefully, you means in a proper manner, you will get a good result. If you use it in bad manner or in negatively you will use it, you will not get good result. Okay, so like that. So you have to manage your time, energy and resource effectively. Identify and define specific goals. To achieve a goal, it is important to clearly define your goal. For example, your goal is to have a holistic growth which encompasses intellectual, physical, artistic, emotional, creative, and social development. That means what goal you have. You set it first that this is my goal, this work I want to do. Then, accordingly, you start working on it. Okay, so break down goals into smaller tasks. Suppose your goal is to complete suppose math syllabus, 10 chapters are there. So 10 chapters you cannot do one day. So you have to divide it that every day one chapter I will do. So similarly, if a big goal also you have set, you break down the goals into smaller tasks. To achieve bigger goals, it is essential to break them into smaller, actionable tasks. Adopt the SMART strategy while setting and defining your targets. SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. So, this is the definition of SMART. Okay, it will be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Okay, so if you will adopt this SMART strategy, you will easily achieve your goal. So, what is this SMART strategy? Specific. A well-defined task helps you to focus your efforts. For example, instead of saying I will cover my syllabus in time, a more specific task would be I will complete subject A by tomorrow. Okay, means you have to specify your means task. Okay, measurable. A goal without a measurable outcome is like a sport competition without a scoreboard. Make your programs measurable. For example, rather than saying I will speed up my learning, a more measurable target would be I will solve 20 maths problem in 2 hours or I will complete one chapter in a day. So like this, if you have measure your work, then it will be more means effective. Achievable. Set targets that are realistic and can be achieved. Don't dream any target. Okay, so that may not be successful. So when you what you can achieve depending on your capability, your strength, energy, you achieve means set the goal what you can achieve. Suppose 10 chapters are there. If will means set that all the chapters I'll do it in one day, so it is impossible, you cannot do it. And if you'll do it also, you cannot do it nicely, you will not get effective result. So what you can achieve in real manner, that you set. Okay, setting unattainable targets results in a false sense failure, loss of motivation and low self-regard. For example, rather than saying I will learn this whole poem in 1 hour, a more achievable target would to say I will read this poem 5 times now. Okay, so realistic. Devise a realistic plan. For example, rather than saying I will devote 8 hours to my studies after school every day, a more realistic goal may be to say I will study 3 to 4 hours regularly. Okay, because 8 hours after school, if you study, you may not be successful because after school you will be tired. Okay, other works for marks will be there, so you cannot focus, cannot give 8 hours, and if you will give, then you will be tired. So better you decide I will study 3 to 4 hours regularly. Time bound. A time bound target informs you whether you are progressing at the right pace or not. For example, rather than saying I will complete this chapter, a time bound target would be I will finish this chapter by 8 p.m. Okay. So next, time management. It refers to managing time effectively so that the right time is allocated to the right activity. Effective time management allows individuals to assign specific time slots to activities as per their importance. Following steps helps in managing your time in the best possible way. Okay, so for that, first we'll planning. Okay, you know that for doing any task we need to plan. Suppose an event also will organize at your home, small event. That for that also you will plan before many days. Okay, we have to plan the schedule, our guest list, our menus, our um, venue. Everything will decide plan. Okay, so whenever you are going to set plan a goal for your life, obviously will plan how to do and what to do. An important part of the time management is planning. In order to control your workload, it is important to learn to plan each day, week, month, and year. Always be realistic in estimating the time to accomplish this task, as it helps you to create effective planning. Okay, so you plan how to study, what is my goal, how can I study, what subjects I will study, where I will study, what extra efforts I will do to achieve my goal, that you should plan. Okay, estimate time required for each task. That is most important, time management in life. Okay, so what time you require to give to your task. Be realistic in estimating the time required to accomplish the task, as it helps you to plan effectively. For example, if you are participating in a debate contest, estimate how much research time do you need. Suppose you are participating in a competition, then you will in your time, suppose the competition is after 5 days, then you will decide when the day when you will collect the information, when you will read it, when you will learn it, and how will you practice it. Okay, so estimate your time. Suppose your exam is whenever you are getting 2 or 3 days gap, so accordingly you are planning what to do, how to read. Suppose 5 chapters are there, then you are dividing. Suppose if you are getting 1 day gap, then that way you are deciding that how to read. So time management is important. Then prioritize and schedule. Prioritize means which work you will do first. Okay, and which work is important, which should be done first. That is your priorities, and for that you schedule your work. Prepare your schedule to accommodate the planned tasks and other activities. Write down the important activities that need to be done in a single day against the time that should be allocated to each activity. Prioritize your tasks based on importance and urgency while preparing your schedule. For example, consider your school calendar for exams, weekly and daily assignments, school events, family special events, friends, birthdays, etc. Learn to say no. That means if you are doing any task, suppose you are doing any task, before completion of that task, if you will take another task, you may not be able to complete that task. So both the tasks will be up. So you try to say no, means before, if you cannot do, then instead of taking the task, you will say no. Okay. So after completion of one task, you take the second task. Then you are spending just like always refer to your schedule and to-do lists before commenting to new projects. One of the reasons we become overloaded is that we have the tendency to say yes when people ask us to do things we cannot do, then also we tell yes we can do. So what happens, both the things happen to us. Okay, if we tell no, it may affect you, that situation, that person may feel bad, you may feel bad, but your work will not hamper. Whatever task you have taken, that will be complete. Okay, spending the right time on the right activity. Set a limit to complete the task. If you set a time constraint on a particular task, it will make you to be more focused and efficient. For example, instead of working on a project and thinking of doing it until it's done, set a limit of say 5 hours. Okay, spend right time on the right activity. Accountability and responsibility. Two words are there. Okay, what is accountability and what is responsibility? Responsibility is given by somebody else. Okay, and accountability, you are responsible for your work. That is the difference. Responsibility may be divided. Suppose you have been given a responsibility, you to do a particular task. You cannot do it alone. You can take the help of others, okay, to complete that task. That is responsibility. But accountability means what you will do, you will be responsible for it. That means if you will make any interest, any mistake, then you will be responsible for it. For your good work, you will be also responsible. So that is difference between accountability and responsibility. Avoiding procrastination. Procrastination means delaying the work, not accepting the work. Okay, sometimes difficult works we don't want to accept. Okay, don't want to do. We want always easy work, which will be means enjoyable, not less time taking. That work we want to do. But what happened when difficult task will come, we'll lose our confidence to do that work. Okay, so that is avoid procrastination always. Acknowledge that you are procrastinating. The mere acknowledgement helps in curbing it. That means if you realize that I am not, I am knowingly doing it, that not want to take a difficult task, then you can means what is help yourself. Refer to your to-do list and remind yourself of your bigger goal. It is advisable to keep your to-do list displayed where you can see it often. Means in your in front of your study table or in front of your work table or you are sleeping. If you write or paste your to-do list, what to do, and if you will see, then you can remember your works every time. Refer to your to-do list often. Promise to reward yourself after completion of the task. Okay, promise to reward yourself. Yes, I have done it. Okay, so clap for me, myself. So this type of reward you can give. Make it a habit of scheduling your more laborious tasks before more enjoyable tasks. Enjoyable tasks, you schedule more laborious tasks because it will help you to improve your self confidence. Whenever a difficult task will come, you can do it. Okay, problem analysis and solution. So it is a biggest thing in our life. We always have a means what is a solution centered attitude. Okay, if a problem will come, we should not afraid of that problem. We should not be panic in that situation, and we should not leave our goal for that problem. Always we should be solution centered. We'll think how to overcome this problem. Who can help me? Where I will go? What I will do to overcome this problem? So that will help us that time. Okay, instead of okay, I will not do, I leave this work, then this type of negative attitude will not help. Rather, will be always a solution centered. Okay, a problem solving attitude is a must in every areas of life. Despite all the planning, you may face hardships, obstructions, delays, and failures in your life. When such hindrances occur, it is natural for people to get into a problem centered mindset. People try to find the source of the problem and blame other people or events for the delay or failure. Okay, we have a habit. Suppose if a problem will come, it means instead of finding the solution, we start blaming each other. For you this happened, for him this happened, like this. So instead of that, blaming others, find the solution for it. Always be solution centered. Managing your own emotions, that plays a big role. Emotions always get in the way of a rational interpretation of a situation. They usually prevent us from working towards the best or most constructive solutions. Often people either over express their feeling, means excessive anger or passiveness, or suppress their feelings to cope with the situation. Okay, but we should think over the problem instead of getting angry or annoyed or something like in any situation. We can think over that situation, what the situation demands from us. Then if we'll think and we'll avoid our emotions and suppress, or sometimes say it needs to express also, but take time, think over it, then react. Okay, So then it will be means helpful for you. To apply regions, ask yourself some questions like what should do in this situation? Does this action help in fixing the problem? How will my action affect me and other people? How will it affect my bigger long-term goal? What are the alternative actions can I take that will actually help better this situation? Can I talk to someone who can guide me or help me through this problem? So these questions, if you ask yourself, you can get a solution. Coping with distress. Unforeseen and unfortunate events like illness, injuries, death in the family, or some other tragic event may happen in your life. It may have a significant impact on your emotional and physical well-being. Find a suitable coping mechanism in such circumstances like surround yourself with people who can provide you with the required emotional and practical support. Count your blessings in life. Distract yourself with pleasant things. Indulge yourself in any physical activity or draw attention on others' experience to pull yourself out from a depressing situation. Okay, that means suppose see, we don't know about life, what in that means something unusual may happen with us. We may lose our some means close person or loved ones. Okay, so it sometimes it disturbs us. Okay, we cannot come out from that situation in that. So better in that situation, instead of means thinking about that situation, we should think positively. How can I overcome that situation? For that, you be with those people who can help you, who can give you emotional supports, who can really help you. Okay, count your blessings in life. Okay, you means try to come out, means do some pleasant things which you like. Okay, so that it will help you to come out from this, cope up with the disturbed situations. Positive results of self-management. So if you will manage yourself positively, it will give you good result. Okay, what are that? That it makes you more organized. While planning your schedule, like allotting time slots for your studies, relaxation breaks, and other essential activities, you learn the vital skill of organizing and allocating all your resources. Instills discipline. When you make a schedule and commit yourself to do it in the stipulated time, you reject other unimportant inventions from anyone else. Okay, helps in attaining goals. Rather, whenever you will be manage yourself means in a better manner, then it will help you in attaining your goals. You will be become disciplined. You will be become more organized. So when all these things will happen, then your self-confidence will be increased also. It will enhance your self-confidence and you will get respect from others also. Okay, when you people around you, your family, teachers, classmates and friends watch you performing to achieve good results without any push or supervision, then they start respecting you. Your parents and teachers realize that they do not need to control or force you. Also, your peers get inspired by you. So means self-management is very essential. Okay, in every situation to achieve our goal, if we can manage properly ourselves, then you can be we can achieve our goals. Okay, so with this lesson over. Thank you all. Hope all of you understood. Any doubt you can ask in the doubt class or you can message me also. Thank you all. Have a nice day.